Once the Xiaomi 17 Max officially arrived, the Xiaomi 17 lineup expanded to a total of 5 models. Xiaomi has been very clear about where this phone fits in the family. It isn't part of the Pro lineup. It's positioned as the standard Max version. But unlike Apple's Plus models, this isn't just a bigger phone. The main camera, telephoto camera, stereo speakers, display specifications, and even the front glass are all different. So the real question is, how much of a Max experience does the Xiaomi 17 Max actually deliver?
A quick shout out to my tech partner from China for sharing this video. A big thank you for making this possible. Hey everyone, it's Maiky from techmaiky. If you love staying updated with the latest gadgets, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss out our exciting tech content.
As many of you already know, the Xiaomi 17 Pro Max has been one of my primary daily drivers. After spending time with the Xiaomi 17 Max, I can confidently say that its biggest upgrade is battery life. The simplest way to describe it is that this phone is built to keep going. It packs a huge 8,000 mAh battery, combined with the Super Pixel display technology and the Snapdragon 8 Elite chipset. Based on my full battery drain testing over 3 days across 3 different usage scenarios, where I used the phone from 100% all the way to shutdown, the endurance results are exactly what you see on screen. Daily usage is where this phone really shines. After simulating 4 hours of heavy mixed-use testing, it still had 52.89% battery remaining. That means more than half the battery was left after some seriously demanding use, suggesting this phone can comfortably deliver around 8 hours under this testing model. There's no doubt that battery life is one of its strongest features. Even in my 5-hour gaming-focused endurance test, the Xiaomi 17 Max still had 36.04% battery remaining. That easily places it among the top performers for battery endurance. So if your priority is maximum battery life and you'd rather have longer usage than extra camera hardware, the Xiaomi 17 Max is arguably the best choice among Xiaomi's flagship lineup. Charging is equally solid. It supports 100-watt wired fast charging and reaches a full charge in around 54 minutes, which is right in line with expectations. It also includes 50-watt wireless charging, a feature that has become standard across Xiaomi's flagship devices. The display is another highlight. The Xiaomi 17 Max uses a panel that's on the same level as the Pro models and also features Super Pixel technology, where every pixel contains a complete RGB sub-pixel layout. While it may not sound as eye-catching in marketing compared to a traditional 2K display, in real-world use, I genuinely believe Super Pixel represents an important direction for future smartphone screens. Visually, the sharpness is extremely close to a 2K panel, while also contributing to noticeably better battery efficiency during everyday use. That's one of the biggest real-world advantages of the Xiaomi 17 Max. Being a Xiaomi flagship, the bezels are impressively slim as well. The phone uses the M10 display along with the latest red luminous material, and paired with its large 6.9-inch screen, the front of the device looks incredibly immersive. Around the back, the overall design reminds me of the Xiaomi 13 series. The camera module is surrounded by a fully black-painted frame, giving the rear a cleaner and more unified appearance. Looking closer at the middle frame, you'll notice a subtle reverse wrap design. Personally, I still think that if Xiaomi had kept the feel of the previous 15 series, the in-hand comfort would have been even better. Photography is another major upgrade. The primary camera uses the well-known 200-megapixel HP9 sensor, while the telephoto setup is unique within the Xiaomi 17 series. It features a 3x periscope telephoto camera powered by Sony's IMX882 sensor. Now let's check out the real-world camera samples. Thanks to the 200-megapixel main sensor, you can crop heavily into your photos after shooting at full resolution. The cropped images you're seeing still retain impressive detail and clarity. Because of that high-resolution sensor, the Xiaomi 17 Max consistently delivers better overall detail than the standard Xiaomi 17 in everyday photography. For example, in this set of sample images, the Xiaomi 17 Max clearly captures finer details than the Xiaomi 17. The same is true in these shots, where details like the air conditioner and the edges of the bamboo leaves are rendered more cleanly. Overall, the Xiaomi 17 Max produces sharper and more detailed results. Night photography tells a slightly different story. As I mentioned before, the Xiaomi 17 applies some algorithmic processing in Leica Classic mode, which introduces a bit of sharpening. The Xiaomi 17 Max currently applies very little sharpening, so the Xiaomi 17 actually delivers a cleaner-looking image overall. The 17 Max feels much closer to a pure Leica Classic style, without heavy software enhancement. It creates stronger light and shadow contrast, although its noise control isn't quite as refined. You can clearly see in this comparison that the Xiaomi 17 Max produces noticeably stronger contrast. Moving over to the telephoto camera, both phones perform well in daylight with 3x zoom and produce pleasing colors. However, when it comes to preserving fine detail, the Xiaomi 17 Max comes out ahead. While the Xiaomi 17 continues to use very light sharpening in Leica Classic mode, the 17 Max delivers outstanding detail processing. The next set of 3x telephoto samples tells the same story, with the Xiaomi 17 Max consistently producing sharper results. The advantage continues in nighttime 3x telephoto photography. Since the Xiaomi 17 relies on minimal software sharpening, it falls a bit behind the Xiaomi 17 Max in detail. Even when moving to 5x zoom during daylight, it's easy to see that the Xiaomi 17 Max handles fine details with greater confidence, making full use of its 3x periscope telephoto system. In these 5x zoom samples, while maintaining good light sensitivity, the Xiaomi 17 Max also preserves noticeably richer detail. That's why its advantage becomes even more apparent once you go beyond the 5x zoom range. I also compared it directly with the Xiaomi 17 Pro Max, which starts with a native 5x telephoto lens. The sample images I showed earlier clearly demonstrate the strength of that dedicated 5x optical lens. Compared to the Xiaomi 17 Max, the Pro Max still holds an advantage in overall resolution. Looking at these daytime 10x zoom samples, which include high-contrast scenes captured in Leica Classic mode, the Xiaomi 17 Pro Max handles the detail with greater ease. That said, the Xiaomi 17 Max still performs impressively well. In this second set of 10x zoom shots, featuring a person looking at the Xiaomi 17 Max, the overall image quality remains very good. There is still a visible difference in fine detail compared to the Pro Max, but the Xiaomi 17 Max delivers a strong result overall. Finally, in these 5x nighttime zoom samples, the Xiaomi 17 Max doesn't struggle, thanks to its capable 3x periscope telephoto camera. However, when you compare it directly with the Pro Max's native 5x optical lens, the gap in detail is still easy to notice. Even in difficult lighting conditions, the Xiaomi 17 Max successfully captures the shot, although the Pro Max naturally produces cleaner and more detailed images, which is exactly what you'd expect.
When it comes to 10x zoom, the results are very similar to what we saw in daylight. The Xiaomi 17 Pro Max still handles this zoom range with greater ease, thanks to its more capable telephoto hardware. So, which one should you choose between the Xiaomi 17, Xiaomi 17 Max, and Xiaomi 17 Pro Max? The answer is actually pretty straightforward. The Xiaomi 17 Max offers a smoother and more natural focal length transition by stepping in at 70mm, making it very comfortable for everyday photography. If your priority is long-range zoom, though, the Pro models, especially the Pro Max, still have a clear advantage over the 17 Max. As for the standard Xiaomi 17, its smaller body means it relies on a floating telephoto camera, so its overall zoom capability is naturally more limited. Now, let's move on to performance testing. The two key stress tests were Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail. Starting with Genshin Impact, the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen5 handled the game with impressive ease. During a 70-minute gaming session, including the final 40 minutes with virtual audio recording enabled, the phone maintained an average frame rate of 60.2 FPS while rendering at the mainstream 883p resolution. Average power consumption came in at 4.05 watts, with the highest recorded temperatures reaching 42.6 degrees Celsius on the front and 42.8 degrees Celsius on the back. Considering the room temperature was already around 27 degrees Celsius, that's a very solid result overall. Next came the Honkai Star Rail test. At first glance, everything looked perfectly normal. The performance monitor reported an average frame rate of 59.4 FPS, which is exactly what you'd expect. But one number immediately stood out. Power consumption was only 5.3 watts. After testing plenty of Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen5 phones running this game at maximum settings with 60 FPS enabled, I found that most of them draw around 6 watts of power. This phone was noticeably lower. Looking deeper into the results, it appears Xiaomi is using a strategy similar to the rest of the Xiaomi 17 series by rendering at 800p and then applying super resolution processing. The visual difference is difficult to notice, but the lower power consumption is very obvious. The benefit of that approach is lower temperatures. During this test, the highest temperature recorded was only 46 degrees Celsius, resulting in a gaming experience that stayed smooth while remaining relatively cool. To see how the phone performed without that optimization, I manually switched Star Rail to the 994p rendering resolution in the settings and repeated the test for another 40 minutes. This time, the average frame rate settled at 59 FPS, with noticeably fewer fluctuations than before. Average power consumption increased to a more typical 6.22 watts, while the highest device temperature reached 47.7 degrees Celsius, with the front climbing to 45.5 degrees Celsius. This naturally raises the question, why does Xiaomi take this approach? If you run stability testing using tools like Xingtai or even compare long gaming sessions yourself, you'll begin to understand the strategy. Xiaomi isn't reducing the frame rate during testing. It still targets 120 FPS where applicable. Instead, it enforces a strict thermal limit of around 47 degrees Celsius. In other words, the phone is designed not to become excessively hot, even if that means accepting a slightly lower frame rate under certain conditions. The payoff is a much more comfortable device temperature during extended gaming sessions. Put simply, Xiaomi is choosing lower heat over chasing every last frame. Whether that's the right decision depends on your personal preference, and I'd love to know what you think. Now let's talk about Xiaomi HyperOS 3. Rather than simply saying it's already excellent, what really stands out to me is how polished the overall user experience feels. Even by today's standards, the animations remain among the best. Xiaomi has also addressed previous complaints about background app opening and closing, and scrolling throughout the system now feels exceptionally smooth. It's something you'll immediately notice if you compare it side by side with other devices or spend some time using it. The global blur effects in HyperOS 3 are also very well implemented, giving the interface a cleaner and more refined appearance. On flagship models, advertising is kept to a minimum, which is definitely appreciated. You'll also notice a few subtle desktop elements inspired by the liquid glass style, but they're not overdone. Another feature I really like is the global high refresh rate mode. Once enabled, the high frame rate applies consistently throughout the system, and that's something Xiaomi deserves credit for. As I mentioned earlier, Xiaomi's philosophy with the Xiaomi Number series seems to prioritize stable performance through careful thermal management. Instead of pushing maximum frame rates at all costs, the system uses strict thermal limits together with passive cooling to maintain stability. Different manufacturers have different philosophies. Some choose the aggressive route and squeeze out every bit of performance, while others focus more on keeping temperatures under control. Neither approach is necessarily right or wrong. It's simply a different design choice. Personally, I'd love to see manufacturers offer users a dedicated performance switch that clearly explains the phone will become hotter and outlines any possible risks, allowing users to decide for themselves. Looking at the rest of the hardware, the dual 1115X chip setup is one of this phone's highlights. The speaker quality is also something I'd recommend experiencing in person. The massive 8000 mAh battery and upgraded camera sensors speak for themselves.
As expected from a Xiaomi flagship, features like USB 3.2 Gen 1, NFC, an infrared blaster, and an ultrasonic in-display fingerprint scanner are all included as standard. To wrap everything up, I think the Xiaomi 17 Max is one of the most practical choices in the entire Xiaomi 17 lineup. Its huge 8,000 mAh battery delivers outstanding endurance in real-world use, while the 200-megapixel main camera, combined with the 3x periscope telephoto lens, makes it especially appealing for users who frequently shoot at medium and longer focal lengths. If your goal is absolute telephoto performance, though, the Pro series, and especially the Xiaomi 17 Pro Max, still remains the stronger option. The Super Pixel display delivers a viewing experience that's on par with both the Pro and Ultra models, so even with its large 6.9-inch display, sharpness is never a concern. Performance testing also makes Xiaomi's priorities very clear. The company focuses heavily on heat management, keeping frame rates slightly more conservative in exchange for smoother long-term system performance and lower operating temperatures. As for the hardware itself, there's really nothing to complain about. It's packed with flagship-level components from top to bottom. The only area that still sparks debate is the software. Personally, after using HyperOS 3 over the past 7 or 8 months, especially on Xiaomi's flagship devices, I don't think the level of criticism it still receives is entirely justified. And with that, we've reached the end of today's video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to leave a like, drop your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more tech content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!